What's going on, Internet? I am the Masked Man, and I'm trying to get away from covering. Mm. I'm trying to get away from covering this specific type. Well, not this specific type, but I'm trying to get away from covering this kind of content on this particular channel. But I'm making content and I had a list of topics and I kind of ran through them and I haven't been, doing what I need to do yet to come up with material for the direction that I want this channel to go in. So I took a video that I'm putting that normally would go on my other YouTube channel, the Mr. Masked Man. I'm putting it on this channel, Mr. Masked Man. So, there it is. It's like I don't particularly want to cover, this topic over here on this channel, but I want to kind of keep this channel active. I want to keep, producing things for this channel. So until I can figure out, the creative process for coming up with material and, topics to cover on this channel, occasionally I may address some frivolous nonsense just to put a video out on this channel until, I can get it to where it needs to go, which is focusing on, the larger structural, systemic, issues going on with society and humanity and the direction that we as a species, as the only known conscious beings in the universe, the direction that we need to be going in. But this video is about the Aries Spears Tiffany Haddish situation. And this situation is it really illustrates several different things. It illustrates several different things. One of the things it illustrates is you know outrage culture. It illustrates outrage culture and how somebody, or not even somebody, but how a group of people or groups of people or unknown, unseen forces of influence or power can select and choose things that you said or done publicly or even privately, and use that to basically ruin your life, basically make it where you are unable to support yourself as as an adult person. They can make it to where, you can't function. And this doesn't so much happen with people who are, established, who are, celebrities, people who are, famous. But this does happen to everyday people where outrage culture offended the offended mob. They cannot, rest in their offense and move on from what you produce or what you do. No, they feel deputized to pursue you wherever you go and try to punish you for what they deem offensive. That's one thing. Another part about the Aries Spears Tiffany Haddish situation is artistic ignorance. What a lot of people are not taking into account, what a lot of people who I haven't really watched anybody discuss this topic. I've seen, the video, well, one of the videos in question, but I haven't really heard people really discuss their feelings on the matter. But most people generally have a sense of outrage. Some people feel like Aries Spears is a literal criminal. But sometimes what I think that is generally, lost in the conversation is that sometimes, a lot of times actually, as an artistic, creative, individual who has concepts and ideas and thoughts in their mind, in their head, in their brain. Sometimes the thing that they're trying to do, the thing that they're trying to say, the message that they're trying to convey, it gets lost in translation. It gets lost in between, their mind and what they actually produce. And you can have, one kind of intent. You can have a specific intent. You can have a specific motive. And because of how you present or arrange what you do, it's received in a totally different way than you intended it to be received, than you intended it to be, consumed or digested. And I think that's in large part what is going on with the Tiffany Haddish, Aries Spears situation. It's like, I'm not here to say that that the video he made wasn't disturbing and wasn't gross. It was. It was disturbing. And it was gross. And I'll even be willing to grant that, you know, the child who was, you know, in the video, you know, may feel some kind of way about the whole experience, about the whole ordeal. That's absolutely, you know, something that I would be willing to grant. But the fact that there's this sweeping, you know, you know, move to to turn Aries Spears specifically and Tiffany Haddish generally into criminal actors based on what is done in the video, you know, shows it shows either a lack of comprehension or you know out of control emotion or some sort of personal vendetta. It's like, look, that video was it was offensive, it was gross, and it was in poor taste. But and it illustrates why artists need a filtering process. Why artists need to go to some kind of an approval process. Why artists, you know, to a degree, this is not an absolute, but artists need, you know, to have somebody that they can ask about the things that they want to do, the things that they want to, you know, produce before they release it to the general population. Like somebody like Aries should have a team. Tiffany wasn't as big back then, but Aries should have had a team, or, you know, just the entire process of constructing the skit, writing it, shooting it, everything that led up to the finished product. There should have been some force, some entity involved to say, you want to do what? You want to shoot what? That's not a good idea. This isn't going to go for you how you think this is going to go. It's like you need somebody who has eyes to see that aren't, you know, the eyes of an artist. You need the eyes of a general square, you know, person on the street who is going to consume this content casually, who's not going to get all of the nuance and the commentary and how, you know, intricate, your mind is working with what you're creating. You need somebody who is not artistically inclined. You need a straight-laced, you know, business person, somebody who is suit and tie, who is, gonna look at what you are creating and say, hey, this isn't gonna fly. This isn't gonna work. This isn't consumable content. And that may not work on the scale that Aries was producing content at that particular time. It was basically a YouTube skit that went on a website that wasn't YouTube, a website called Funny or Die. But ultimately, somebody somehow should have been involved in the process to let him know that that wasn't something that made sense, or that would make sense to a general audience, and it would most likely lead to backlash. So basically, what I say all that to say that, I do not believe that the video itself that Aries Spears made is in and of itself a criminal act. I don't think that he committed a criminal act based on the video. I don't think that Aries or Tiffany, committed a crime based on the video. But it shouldn't. But it was just an idea that there was no way to make in a way that wouldn't have been in poor taste, that wouldn't have been received the wrong way. And in this specific case, people are justifiably offended. There's just offense in this particular case. I can understand why you would want to criminalize Aries Spears or Tiffany Haddish based on this video, or based on, what they say that the little boy's sister did in another video that I have not seen. I don't think that video is out there. But the one with the little boy and Aries, that is. The one where Tiffany is allegedly showing a girl how to perform fellatio. I haven't seen that video. I can understand why people would be so offended that they want to criminalize people, that they want to criminalize Tiffany and Aries based on this video. But just because something is in poor taste, just because something is gross, just because something is even potentially traumatic, doesn't mean that there was criminal intent and criminal acts performed, based on what actually occurred. Just because something pisses you off, just because something makes you mad, just because something is in poor taste or is gross, or, maybe even morally wrong, doesn't make it an actual crime. You have to look at motive. You have to look at intent. You have to look at what was actually done, what actually happened, what actually took place. And you can't go on this campaign to destroy somebody just because, you know, they made a mistake. But anyway, you know, that's all I wanted to say about this issue. You know, I feel that this situation is going to knock Aries down a level. But if it doesn't become a criminal thing, he may recover. But I think Tiffany Haddish is done as a mainstream act. I don't think that she can fully recover, you know, and rise back up to the level that she existed on before this whole story broke. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Masked Man out.